In the last video, we have used Visual Studio Code to create our first notebook for Jupyter Notebooks. This is the notebook, and often it makes sense to do something on a local machine, but it's also possible to do that online on something that they call the Mojo Playground. Actually, this playground is also very helpful when you start out with Mojo because they provide some examples that you can run online, but there is a little problem which we are going to discuss later in the video. So let's see how that works. This is the modular website for Mojo. It's the programming manual. And when you click on the Get Started button here, you will be forwarded to developer.modular.com/download. This is where we have downloaded our version, and they also have this link here, and if you click it, this is what happens. This is the playgroundmodular.com site where you can play around with Mojo examples. You already know these code cells here from the Jupyter Notebook, and you can execute them right inside of the web browser. To run a cell, you can press the play button here, or you can press Shift Enter. So let's do that. And here we are. It says, hello, this is online. We have some language basics like the main function that you already know. So let's execute this. And when we do, nothing happens because the main function wasn't called. So let's add that. Press Shift Enter. I should fix the indent here. Repeat that. And sure enough, we get a result here. What this code does is we have a variable. It's an integer variable or a whole number in this case. The number is 1. And this expression here is going to use the value that already is stored in this variable, which is 1. And it adds 1 to the current content. So after this line is executed, it is 2. And that's actually what we get when we print out the result here. If we do it the right way, like this, then we get the result is 2. You could also do it this way, x equals x plus 1. Then we get the same result. Let's add another variable here. And let's say x is 2, y is 3. And we want to multiply the values. Then we get the result is 6. We could use a floating type, like this one. I have messed up the variable. Now let's open the programming manual, language basics, where we have the same stuff. And I want to look up the float variable type. Here is a different example where it says float 32. So let's try this. And still we get an error here, but we don't really know what's going on. So let's copy cells. We go back to our local Jupyter Notebook. Let's clear the cell output, add another cell. And now we want to run this locally. And here we get a real error, which says that we cannot convert a floating type to an integer type. And that is because x is an integer and we try to assign the result for this calculation to the wrong data type. Well, that is easy to understand, and that's why I don't like to use the playground that much, because on my local Jupyter Notebook I get the error that actually caused the problem. And when I change the data type for the first variable and rerun the cell, I get a warning, so I should use that. But the important part is that now I get a result here. And in this little video you have learned what the Mojo Playground is, how to access it, and why it might be a better idea to use a local Jupyter Notebook to get understandable error messages. That's it for this video. I say thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.